So Chime is one of the largest neobanks out there. You may have even seen one of their ads play before this video, but there's a lot of things that people don't actually know about Chime. So in this video, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know before signing up for the platform. This includes how Chime works, whether they are a safe place for you to store your money, and how they actually make money, because this is something that is very important to know whenever you are keeping your money somewhere, is how their financials work. So without further ado, let's dive right on into it. Now, first off, what actually is Chime? Well, Chime is an online savings account and checking account that you can use for free from the comfort of your computer or from your smartphone. Now, unlike other banks that have physical branch locations, Chime has no branch locations, and you can do everything you need from the app on your phone. This can be a huge convenience for younger people like myself that don't want to bother with going into physical branch locations, but for older consumers, they may still value that person-to-person connection that going into a branch could give. Now, also unlike most traditional banks, Chime doesn't use the typical screening that these banks use to determine whether or not they're going to give you a bank account. Chime has a much more accepting process, and so it's a great way for people that are kind of restarting or just kind of starting on their financial journey to take advantage of this account, because it's probably going to approve you even if you're just getting started. Now, like I mentioned, there are two different types of accounts here, a checking account and a savings account. So let's dive into both of those individually and show you exactly how each one works. The first of which is their checking account. They call this Chime Spending, and this is a free online checking account that comes with a free debit card as well. Now, there is no minimum balance to open up this account. You can get started with just $1 if you would like to. And a cool feature is they allow you to get your direct deposit up to 2 days early. So instead of getting paid on Friday, you can actually get paid on Wednesday if you have your direct deposit set up to go directly into your Chime Spending account. Now, one concern that a lot of older consumers have is they won't be able to actually write checks from their Chime account. And while this is true, there is a solution for this. Your Chime Spending account comes with something called Chime Checkbook, and you can use this to essentially write a check online and then have that check sent wherever you need it to go. That's all done, again, from either your phone or from your computer. This kind of eliminates the need for a checkbook overall. Now, one downside to the Chime Spending account is the low limit. Now, because this account is tailored towards kind of younger people and people who are just getting started on their financial journey, the transaction limits are going to be somewhat low. So really the only place you're going to run into issues here is if you're trying to pull money into your Chime account from somewhere else. They have a $200 limit per day or a $1,000 limit per month for this inbound pull transaction. Now, the way to get around that is to go to the bank that you're pulling from and just initiate a transfer from there, because the limit is likely higher. But if you're trying to pull from Chime, that could be a limitation for you. Now let's talk about the Chime Savings account. So this is a free savings account for you to take advantage of that has a higher than average APY or interest rate. Now, with the current interest rate on the account, it is 0.5% APY that you're earning on this account, which is about 10 times higher than the average savings account is right now. While that is still low, as interest rates do continue to rise, the Chime rate will likely rise with them and continue to be pretty competitive. Now, there is no minimum balance to open a Chime Savings account. The only requirement is that you have a Chime Spending account already open. You'll need to have that first, and then you can open up the savings account as well. So now that you understand the two main Chime accounts, let's talk about the main features that set Chime apart from many other neobanks out there. The first of which is their Spot Me feature. So this basically allows you to overdraft your account by up to $100, and Chime is going to essentially float you that $100 in your account without charging you any kind of fees or rejecting the transaction. Now, this is a very unique feature. I mean, most banks make a lot of money on overdraft fees, so the fact that one, Chime doesn't even charge overdraft fees, but two, they allow you to overdraft your account, and they're actually going to lend you that little extra amount of money without charging you any interest on it, is a pretty nice feature. Now, for this feature to be enabled, you do have to have at least a $500 monthly direct deposit going into your Chime Spending account. If you don't, it's not going to allow you to have this feature. Now, the next two main features that Chime offers are focused on building good savings habits, okay? Because as a young person, as someone who's just getting started with their finances, it's really important to build that effective habit of putting money aside for savings. And so what Chime does is they allow you to enable roundups, which would allow you to round your purchases up to the nearest dollar and put the extra amount in savings. So for example, let's say you go get some coffee, comes out to $2.50, and you use your Chime Spend account to pay for that coffee. What you can choose to do is round that purchase up to $3, and that extra 50 cents will go straight into your savings account. Now, while that might not seem like a lot right off the bat, over time this can really add up and lead to a significant amount of money in your savings account without you having to do any work whatsoever. The second feature that works kind of similarly is their pay yourself first feature. So essentially how this works is anytime you get paid, you can allocate a certain percentage of that to go straight into your savings account right off the top. So let's say you get $1,000 deposited into your Chime Spending account. You can say, hey, every time I get paid, I want 10% of that to go straight into my savings account. They're going to take $100 right off the top, and it's never going to even show up in your checking account. It's going to go straight to savings, and that can be a great way to kind of save passively again, where you don't have to think actively about saving money. Now, on top of both of those, Chime also has a credit card that you can choose to use if you would like to. This is called the Chime Credit Builder Card. I've got a full video on that up here that you can check out if you want to. But essentially, this card helps you build your credit up if you're just getting started. It doesn't require you to have any credit history coming into it, and it also doesn't allow you to get into debt because you can only spend the money that you put onto the card. It's kind of like having a prepaid reloadable credit card that's building your credit score at the same time. Kind of a unique feature that Chime offers. Now, a really important question to ask here is Chime actually a safe way for you to store your money? Is it a safe bank to use? Well, fortunately, they do have FDIC insurance on their accounts up to $250,000. That is the industry standard. So if Chime were to fail for some reason, the FDIC is going to step in and make sure that you are paid back up to at least $250,000 of your account value. On top of that, Chime also does have some good but not great customer support. That's still an area they have a little bit of room to grow on, is their customer support, but you are able to generally get a hold of a human in not too much time at all through Chime. Now, that's all well and good, but how much does Chime actually cost you if you wanted to start using them? Well, like I mentioned, there is no monthly fee and there are no overdraft fees. There are also no ATM fees in their network of over 30,000 different ATMs. However, the only fee that you might be likely to pay is an out-of-network ATM fee. So if you want to use an ATM that's not in their network of ATMs, there's going to be a $2.50 fee for you to do that. That's probably the most common fee that you'll ever encounter with a Chime account. So that being said, if they're not charging fees, how does Chime actually make money? Because they're not running a charity here. They are running a business that is making money. How do they actually do that? Well, there are three main revenue streams that Chime has. The first of which is those ATM fees, okay? Because they are charging you $2.50 if you go to an out-of-network ATM. So some of that fee is coming back to Chime. The next is something called interchange fees. So anytime you swipe your credit or debit card at a merchant, that merchant is paying a small fee, usually a couple percentage points of your overall purchase, to a number of people. Okay, some of that fee is going to the credit card issuer, some of that fee is going to the bank, and so Chime is getting kind of a split of that fee anytime you swipe your card at a merchant to buy something. Lastly, this is another common way that banks make money. They are earning interest on the cash that is sitting in your account, because whenever you put money into a bank account, that bank is turning around and lending out that money and making some interest on it. So Chime does the exact same thing, and so that's another revenue stream that they have at their disposal. So now you understand how Chime works. How do you actually sign up? Well, we've got a link down in the description below that you can use to sign up for a Chime account totally free. It'll take you through a very simple and streamlined onboarding process. You'll just give them some basic information about yourself, and so they can get you all set up with your bank account. And then from there, you can use both the desktop version and the app on your phone in order to manage your money. Now, if you want to learn more about Chime, we actually have a comprehensive review article on our website, investingsimple.com. The best way to find that is to head on over to Google, search for Chime Review Investing Simple, and then click on the link for investingsimple.com. We'll see you over there.